Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Julius Nyeri CBPM UNIA-ACL Division 421 Mass Meeting. Today is Sunday, August the 27th, 2023. It is 5:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we get to our topic for today, we're going to start with the pledge to the red, black, and green. And then followed by our guidelines for the call. So if you all could repeat after me. But I commit my body, mind, and spirit
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
to the protection, defense, and security of the red, black, and green.
Of the red, black, and green.
Okay, hold up. It's could you mute your lines if you have some other things going on besides the meeting? I'm about to start over on the pledge. Okay. All right, we're gonna start over. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
To the protection, defense, and security
to the protection, defense, and security
of the red, black, and green.
of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life
I dedicate my life
to the redemption of Mother Africa
to the redemption of Mother Africa
and the liberation of her scattered Black children.
And the liberation of her scattered Black children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants
the teachings of universal African nationalism.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
And promise that our children will be instilled
with the purpose and knowledge of themselves.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves.
As African people.
As African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
In order that the cause of our struggle
will neither falter nor fail.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Until our Black people are free and united.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Race first.
Race first.
Race first.
Okay.
Race first, Grandma.
All right, let me do the guidelines. What is the topic for today? President Riles or President John?
It was call to order and quorum, pledge. I'm just reading the list. Pledge to the UNIA flag, roll call, ground rules, introduction of officers and members. Why did I join UNIA? What is the UNIA?
I just need the heading. The heading.
It just says agenda. Mass meeting Sunday, August 27th. Greetings, Division 421.
Yeah, it didn't. I hadn't got it yet, so I don't see anything.
It just says agenda, and then it just starts with number 1, call to order, and so on and so forth.
Y'all sent this today. Who sent it? You, President Riles, or John, or President John?
I sent it a couple days back. You should have. I think you received it, but yeah, I sent it on Saturday. I think it was Saturday. I sent it yesterday morning.
Okay, let me look in my other folder. It might not be in this one.
But the general view was, since we had gone through some of the new membership, we just went through Garden Day. One of the thoughts was we can kind of refresh the membership. Each member can discuss what it was that they put down on the application as to why they joined, and how they still plan to make that vision a reality.
Okay, I see it. I see it now.
It's President Ross, do you have the membership database up? Because I can get it. It's gonna take me a second.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so the topic today will be basically the new members.
Yes, kind of getting
and what needs to be done. Okay.
Yes, yeah, and
right,
I also included the brochure. We can kind of walk through the brochure if we feel that would help.
Okay. Let me get back to the guidelines of the call. The first half of the meeting, we focus on the topic. Today is new members and the things that need to be done. The second half, we do member share. Everybody get a chance to share something of their choice for about 3 minutes. Please keep your phone on mute when you're not speaking. There are different people on this call from different backgrounds and different ideologies and religious. It's okay to disagree, but let's not become disrespectful. Refrain from using and overusing curse words, and please don't use the N-word during the call, ladies. You can give out something like your business number or email address. Try not to give out your personal phone number. And then I think that's about it as far as the guidelines. So now I'm gonna pass to the host so that they can do the roll call.
President Ross, if you could help with these portions.
Yes, President John. Greetings in Macon, Georgia. On the roll call today, attending that we have at meeting, we want to say greetings to our first Vice President, Brother Amasis. Greetings, Amasis. I don't have the member numbers in front of me right now.
Greetings, 390.
Member 390, Brother Amasis. Also on the line, we have Brother Kwaku from Motor Stock, Georgia. Brother Kwaku, I don't have your membership number in front of me. Greetings, Kwaku. Also on the line, we have Consul General, Attorney Imhotep, and his queen, Sister Aziza. Greetings, Aziza and Brother Imhotep. Also, we have for members from the Empire State, Dr. Roots from Brooklyn, New York. Also on the meeting today, we have member 149, Baba James in College Park, Georgia. Also on the meeting today, we have 53, Sister Diane, our education coordinator. Greetings, Sister Diane.
Greetings, everyone.
Also on the meeting, greetings. Also, we have our member from Maryland, Brother Art. Greetings, Brother Art.
Greetings, family.
In addition, we have one of our members from Virginia, Sister Shante. Greetings, Sister Shante.
Greetings. I'm sorry, I'm getting my hair braided, so there's going to be background noise, but I'll try to keep my phone muted. It's good to see everybody.
Okay, great to hear.
Yes.
Yes, greetings. In addition, we have Harp, Brother Harp. I don't know who Harp is, H-A-R-P, but he's on the call. I don't think his mic is connected. Brother Harp, if you can hear us.
Yeah, Brother Darius is a member of the division.
Okay, Brother Darius.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a member. Brother Darius, if you can hear us, connect your mic so you can hear what's happening. In addition, we also have Sister Ayana Cridel. Sister Ayana, how you doing?
Hello.
Okay.
Well,
You doing well? Good, 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 good. Also, we have one of our lady presidents, Sister Tania in Dallas, Texas. Greetings, Tania. And in addition, we have somebody we got to badge it up for. Our president, President John, is on the call today too. Let's badge it up for our president who led us with a very successful Marcus Garvey Day last weekend. Badge it up. Yep. And that is our roll call.
Congratulations.
I don't have yeah, I don't have access to the conference line to see who's on the conference line. But that's who's on Zoom. We have a total of 13 people on Zoom. Ross Marvin, passing the mic to our president if you want to say a couple words.
Yeah, yes, thank you, President Ross. And for those that don't know, you hear President Ross call me president. You hear me call him president. President Ross Marvin was the first president of UNIA Division 421. He has since stepped down, and he is currently serving as the position of treasurer. But he will always be my president, so I always refer to him as President Ross. Just generally, as I said, I don't know if everyone was on. This is kind of a reintroduction of the UNIA membership and leadership. So wanted to start out with the leadership, the officers, kind of, going over what we documented. We just went.
We're not hearing you, President John.
I'm sorry, I just had a phone call. Just wanted to refresh new members on, well, give new members an idea of the mindset of the leadership, and allow the new members to express their vision for the future of Division 421 as well. So with that, and I got to be brief because I'm actually traveling right now. So I'll start off. I will go first. And President Ross, if you could follow up with the remaining officers. My name is Brother John. I'm member number 306. I joined Division 421 officially in June of 2018. And I was just going over. I actually forgot what I wrote down on my membership application, but we, going through the records. But I put in the section of why do you want to join the UNIA-ACL? At the time, I wrote help provide liberation for Blacks in America. At the time, I knew a little bit about Marcus Garvey. I knew a little bit about the red, black, and green flag. Mislabeled the red, black, and green flag. It's actually the UNIA-ACL government flag. I knew about that, but I didn't know about the UNIA-ACL. And President Ross Marvin, helped me realize the connection between the unbreakable connection between Marcus Garvey, the UNIA flag, and his organization that he created, the UNIA-ACL. As my description says, at the time, my thinking was limited to America, help provide liberation for Blacks in America. You know, that's all I really knew. You know, that was my focus. That is still a major focus of mine. But I am proud of the fact that you know, I didn't know about the global government that Marcus Garvey established for all Africans at home and abroad. So my vision and my purpose has expanded. It's no longer just about brothers and sisters here in America, but it's about brothers and sisters all throughout the world. As I've learned through Garvey, he says, you know, our conditions as a people and how we're viewed as a people is a result of our mother continent, and which is Africa. And until Africa is whole, and until Africa is viewed with a position of respect, none of her children, no matter where they are, no matter what country or nation they're in, will be viewed with respect. So, yeah, that's kind of my, you know, why I got started in the UNIA and why I'm still here. You know, until that mission is completed of total liberation, of you know, total self-governance and self-reliance of my people. I personally do not feel that you know, anyone can treat us as well as we can treat ourselves, or anyone can govern us as well as we can govern ourselves. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I will be here for the foreseeable future until we can make this a reality globally. So that's all I've got. President Ross, if you could please help me move the meeting along and bring up our next officer. Race first. Well,
race first, President John. Race first. Okay, our president kicked it off in a beautiful way. He concerned with the unification of African people all over the world. So am I, and so is all of we. So next we're gonna have, I'm gonna save myself for last. I'm gonna go run through everybody, and everybody knows what question is on the floor. Why did you join the UNIA, and what plan to do for UNIA? Next, we're gonna go to our lady president, Sister Tania in Dallas, Texas.
Not the lady president.
I'm sorry, one of our lady vice presidents. What am I saying, lady? You're the president of the CBPM, but lady vice president. You're the second vice president, second lady vice president, or third lady vice president, or first?
Yeah, well, I kind of stepped down, so I'm just chilling right now. I'm just
chilling, but still working. She introduces our meeting and does the conference call, ground rules, and everything else. So
it's good to see and hear. I know some people on here I haven't heard from in a while. And I'm glad that you're on the call. Glad to be here. Dr. Roots, that's who it was. I hadn't heard from in a long time, and I'm glad to see your name pop up. And who else I haven't heard from? I don't know some of the other people. But everybody else, thank you for coming on. I'm gonna pass it.
Okay, thank you so much, former lady vice president. Next, we're going to go to our consul general, and our brothers and sisters have to understand what we mean when we say consul general. The consul general is the highest legal position in the government. It's not a local position, because we don't have consul general in our division. We have our LDC coordinator, Legal Defense Committee coordinator, and he serves that for our division. But the consul general is a parent body title and a parent body position. So everybody should know that the highest legal person in the UNIA-ACL government is a member of Division 421. So let's hear from him. I welcome now to the mic, Counsel General. That's why I call him Counsel General, because that's his title with the government. Counsel General Attorney Imhotep. Greetings, Attorney. Greetings, African.
Greetings, Africans. Thank you very much. Briefly, I am an African. I am not an American. I am proud of my African heritage. I love my people. And I want to do, considering our status in the world as of today, we are still under attack. And I want to do whatever I can to help my people. It just comes natural as far as the African spirit within me and within all of us. So that's why I would gravitate to the leadership of one such as Marcus Mosiah Garvey, wanted for his people to reclaim the glory that they had. And that's what I want to do. That's why I joined, and that's why I continue the struggle. And I'm glad that we have the new members who have decided to join and to continue the struggle also. So that's why I joined the UNIA-ACL. Thank you. Race first.
Race first, Counsel General. And we saw that you joined with 421. Next, I have a queen. It's just queens in our division. And she is the wife of the Counsel General. So let's hear from Sister Aziza.
Yes, she's not present now, but
okay. Okay, sound good, sound good. Well, send our greetings to her for us, and we're gonna keep it moving. Next, we have coming to the mic is our African Legions coordinator, Baba James, and he's been working with 421 10 years, almost 10 years now. And he served one time as our graphics coordinator. Today he serves as our African Legion coordinator. And everybody should know that the graphics in 421, from our banners to our Black Government ID to whatever flyers we had, it was all designed and created by this brother, Brother Dreadlocks. And the idea of the Black Government idea came from Brother Dreadlocks. So let's welcome Brother Dreadlocks, who has put 421 on the map in a big way by giving out official UNIA-ACL government IDs. Brother Dread?
Race first, family. So to answer the question on the floor, I don't know. I, like President John, don't remember exactly what I wrote. However, I was only in Atlanta 48 hours, Brother Ross Marvin, 2 days before. But when me and him had an opportunity to talk, and he handed me the application, and I was all in from the beginning, from that particular start. I was thankful that Marcus Garvey's government was being upheld. I was thankful that I had an opportunity to participate. I knew I had a lot of history at the time about my Pan-Africanism and where Garvey stood in my life, and an opportunity to serve was the only choice. you know, and as far as the division is concerned, it's my home, it's my life, it's my other half. You know, I'm committed to a race first circumstance, and I'm thankful for the examples I've been given from all my UNIA members. I learn something new from everyone every day. Race first.
Thank you, Baba James, our AAC, our Legions coordinator. And we're going to keep moving. And next, hear from
President Ross.
our brother who's, yes.
President Ross and Brother John, just briefly, I just wanted to chime in on Baba James, Brother Dreadlocks. He had a very similar description that he wrote on his UNIA application. Why did Baba James want to join the UNIA-ACL? He said, to assist in the unity of Black people. That's all I have, President Ross. Race first.
Race first. Thanks. We'll keep it moving. And there's another member who's been part of our division for a long time. Since he wrote 421, he joined. And this member is in New York. And let's welcome Dr. Roots. Oh, they
Can't hear.
thanks.
Dr. Roots, are you there?
Dr. Roots.
Yes, Dr. Roots there.
Okay, Dr. Roots, I guess you can answer the question on why did you join the UNIA?
Okay.
You expected?
All right. Gentlemen, that's a very good question. When I was a child in high school, we had what we call the Black Consciousness class. And during the MC liberation struggle, many of the, when Nkrumah was overthrown, many of his disciples came to Liberia, and they were professors there. And they taught me in high school. And they were recruiting young Africans, especially the conscious ones. So they organized what we called Black Consciousness class. In a Black Consciousness class, where the first material we read was African Fundamentalism by Untitled Chapter. And from 10th, 11th, 12th, we went into that class, and the idea was to train you philosophically about the Black liberation struggle, then take you from whichever African country to Accra, from Accra to South Africa for the struggle, Namibia, you know. So fortunately for me, I did not, when I left high school in 1989, they were negotiating for peace, so there was no need for the guerrilla struggle. So when anyone think that the apartheid regime gave up the apartheid practice just by talking, that's not true. There was a serious guerrilla war going on, sabotage going on all over South Africa. There are men recruited from all over South Africa. So I'm one of those who, before I left high school, was philosophically, ideologically ingrained with the philosophy of Pan-Africanism. When I came to the States, one of the things that really touched me, organizations that undermined the work of Honorable Garvey, like NWCP, Urban League, what I called organizations that were established through fake Jewish money, like NWCP, E.W. Du Bois, the Jewish gave him money to establish it, and how they sabotage Honorable Garvey. In fact, in Liberia, when he tried to move to Liberia, to help Liberia, to relocate, to emancipate Black people in Liberia, how A.W. Du Bois undermined him to have a firestone to Liberia. So, I mean, I just, let me condense my story to you. So when I came to the States, I was ideologically ingrained. By my work, you can tell. I think the UNIA should be one of the biggest organizations globally that seek the repatriation of Black people back to Africa. It is not too late. But I see the contrary. I see that many of Black people in this country, they support a political party whose ideology and philosophy contradicts our family values, our values. Libya, who destroyed Libya, the Democrats. Who went to Syria, the Democrats. Who goes to Africa to lecture us about our tradition, who've been trying to destroy the African tradition, the Democrats. But it hurts my heart when I see Black men, voting for those people. Yet you talk about racism. They are practicing racism on the motherland. Imperialism is racism, So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to stop here. But look, I love what you guys are doing, and I'm proud to be part of this movement. I'm done, ladies and gentlemen.
The meeting, but you can jump in back in. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Roots. Next, we have another member of 421 in your way, and he serves as our first vice president. And also, when I was the president, he was also one of our vice presidents, I think third vice president. Let's welcome Brother Maces, a young brother who's coordinating our business department for Division 421. Brother Maces, why did you join the UNIA?
Greetings, family. Greetings, family. How you all doing? My name is Brother Macy's here, and first of all, I welcome every new member. My son, King's the only one to be on camera as well. Yeah. But definitely one of the main reasons I joined the UNIA was when I found about Marcus Garvey, and of course my major was economics, and I always knew that I understood how the different races came together and economically oppressed us. And Marcus Garvey was one of the first people that was talking about our economic plight, and his focus on building economics is what drew me to him. And that's my major focus as well, being in the UNIA, and to help us continuously develop our own economic system. All right. So I'm just here happy to help develop, because I definitely understand that, if we're mentally free, we have peace of mind, that we would stop, son, okay? If we have peace of mind that we can provide for ourselves, then we are able to develop into the person and the people that we want to be once we get over that root chakra energy of how am I going to feed myself and my family. And that's what Marcus Garvey was all about. Being self-reliant, being self-confident, and knowing that you have all the tools inside of you to reach any goal that you want to reach. So I definitely am here to help spread that message and create institutions that help us reach like we want to reach. Race first, family.
Mr. First President, I see you the future president for our division when you maybe reach 30, 40 years old. So hang in there, Brother Maces, because you definitely is one of our current leaders and future leader. We're going to keep it moving. And next, we're going to bring in a sister. They had a division in Virginia. Division is not active. So she went ahead and joined up Atlanta. So let's welcome a sister who's a Black business entrepreneur. And this was Sean from Virginia.
Hi, greetings, family. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been away for a while. I can't remember what I put down in the application as to why I joined the UNIA-ACL, but I do know what my focus is in terms of African people and uniting, Black people throughout the diaspora. I just want to kind of talk about a little bit about what's happening in terms of BRICS and how, our brothers and sisters on the continent listening to the meetings, reading over the notes that I'm able to transcribe, there is a need for us to really connect our skill sets with what's happening in Africa. For example, as they begin to build their infrastructure, there's going to be certain skill sets that we have readily available here in the United States that we use regularly that would definitely help to, strengthen their economy. For example, like accounting firms, marketing firms, engineering firms, those types of things. So I know that the Collective Black People Movement has a database, and I really feel that that database would be a great tool to use in order to provide some of that information to, the leaders, on the continent of Africa. I know that I've been working with some people in Ghana and Nigeria, and there are just some opportunities for us to just bridge that gap and provide, the necessary skills and experience to help Africa develop and increase their infrastructure. Because a lot of times what happens, they have to go with white or European contractors, whether it's engineers or, whatever skill set or trade they need. So we have to be able to figure out a way to connect our experience and skill sets with what's needed there in order to help build that infrastructure and provide the, just the tools and resources that they need. So that's basically what I want to talk about. And that's always been my passion. I come from an entrepreneur perspective. I think that the best way for us to be liberated is to be financially stable, in order to, because if we're not financially stable ourselves, we can't help anybody else. But collectively, once we really begin to collectively work together, build businesses, extend our businesses to, the continent, then I think that we'll be even more powerful. So that's basically, and I am going to renew my membership. I've been studying law. So I've been in law school for a couple of years. So I had to kind of step away. But I do want to renew my membership.
Wait first. Queen Shantae. And we're going to keep it moving. Next, we're coming back to Georgia, and we're going to Stockbridge, Georgia, and we're going to speak with a member just within the last years. Let's speak with Brother Kwaku. Brother Kwaku, how you doing this evening? I think you're on mute, Brother Kwaku. Let me see if I'm on mute. Brother Kwaku in Stockbridge, Georgia, are you there? We'll come back to Brother Kwaku. We're going to keep it moving. And next, we're going to hear from one of our new members who signed up this year. Let's hear from Sister Diane. And she not only signed up, she also jumped up and take responsibility as our education coordinator and also working with the membership department. Sister Diane, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Good evening, everyone. Grace first. So what I wrote down is that I wanted to help to keep this amazing organization, to continue the work of, continue where the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey left off. But ultimately, what I would like to see is just Black people on the worldwide front, just, become a united force to be reckoned with when it comes to Black excellence, when it comes to Black economic empowerment. So ultimately, that's where I would like, that's what I would like to see, and sooner rather than later. And I'm sure every one of us pretty much share that view. So that's what I have. Race first.
Race first, Sister Diane. We're glad that you are at 421. Ready to have that strength.
What was that?
Well, I guess
you cut out a little.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying we want to thank Sister Diane, Attorney Matep, Brother Cornelius, grabbing it all together along with President John, our division of Marcus Garvey. Thank you for that, Sister Diane. Not only have you joined the UNIA, but also stepped up and is taking responsibility. Let's keep it moving. Next, we're gonna go to a sister I might know, but I'm not coming to mind. No, Sister Ayana. Hi, Sister Ayana. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. To answer the question, why did I join the UNIA? Well, I've been a member. I grew up in the Shrine of the Black Madonna back in the 80s, early 80s, 90s, always within that community. And they always talked about Marcus Garvey and all of ancestors and stuff like that. So we say his name every Sunday, and I've watched several documentaries on it. I also, as an adult, has helped Guatemala Tunji with Marcus Garvey festivals in the past, and his birthday is actually the day. My birthday is on the 18th. His on the 17th, so I kind of felt like I had a little connection there as well. But I've always been admired him in the works that he has done. It was a pleasure to work with Brother John, President John, for the festival that just passed, and the opportunity was set forth to sign up. So I said, well, let me see what is happening. Let me get further in tune with this organization, since I always been felt like I had a indirect connection to it, and so I just wanted to see how I could help be of service to it, but also just to learn, to see, to observe, to listen, and so that's why I'm here right now.
We're so glad, Mrs. Remember, any question you have, ask it. Because if you know, anything you need to know, please get to our event. Any of our members and so on who may know. Thank you again, Sister Diana, and we welcome you to the family. And we have to also thank Brother Olatunji, because he's a big promoter and advocate for Marcus Garvey and for African history. On Saturdays, they do the African history class, and they've been doing it for years, and it's free to our community. And the shrine is such a vital presence, a vital resource for us as African people here in Atlanta, not to mention Marcus Garvey and other things. Okay, let's keep it moving. Brother Kwaku, I see that you're not on mute. Would you like to respond now?
Yes. Greetings, family. It's been a while for me to attend one of the meetings. Of course, I'm quite busy with other organizations, but I'm always try to stick my head in from time to time to kind of keep abreast of what's going on. I'm here to do whatever it takes and within my means to help push the organization as is clearly stated, one aim, one goal, and as a family. So I'm here to provide any kind of assistance I possibly can to make that happen. So it's good seeing you again, President Marvin Ross. It's been a while.
Yes, Brother Kwaku. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And family, it don't matter where you go in the world, what out in the world. His brother Kwaku did, he know he got home base here at Fort Lauderdale, so he come back on, connect back with the family, and we're so glad to have you today at the meeting. And it hasn't been such a long time since you haven't been in Kwaku. I know you've been to our meetings, many of our meetings. Thanks again, my brother.
Sure, no problem.
Now we have someone else. I don't know who they are. It's a One Account Media. So let's bring to like One Account Media. You're on mute if you're trying to speak. Okay. Well, maybe the here from one region. And I believe we've gone through everybody who's on the call, except for myself. And I joined the UNIA back in 2009, Division 421, because I'm about African people uniting. I'm about the uplift of African people. I'm about looking out for brothers and sisters. But when I found out that we had a government, our own government, and the government now today is over 100 years old, I definitely was in. And I found out that our government was established and existed from way back in 2009, 2010 that we have a government. So I said, I'm on board. And this is the only world government for African people. So we got to big up Marcus Garvey, one of my favorite African heroes, African leaders. And anything Garvey's about, that's what I'm about. So there's a lot more reasons. I'm just glad because we have a family here in Atlanta and stretches outside Atlanta, but through technology today, we're all together. So is there anybody else who wanted to share upon the question on the floor before we move forward to the next topic? Okay, well, we keep moving. And Sister Diane, I don't have the agenda in front of me. You can tell me what is next on the agenda. Okay, I'm not hearing. Can you have it in front of you? Can anybody hear me? Am I speaking still? Hearing me? Because I'm not hearing nobody.
Hello. Yep, President Ross, I can hear you, but it's like fade, it's going in and out. So I don't know if that's my phone or is that your phone?
My phone, but
Yeah, like it just started doing it. Like I haven't been hearing it the entire time. Like they just started.
Okay, thanks for the heads up, Tania. All right. So was there anybody else who wanted to share before we move on to the next topic? Tania,
Oh, I didn't sure about why I joined. I think when I got back, I had to go run to go get my charger before the for the thing hung up on everybody. I don't know if I'm connected, if it'll mess the meeting up if I log out. So I had to go run. I think I missed when you gave the instructions.
Okay.
To it. But I think when I joined the UNIA, I had joined the CBPM first. And I had found it searching online for Black organizations. And I started like trying to find an organization in the city of Dallas. And I couldn't get nobody to answer me. I was calling, leaving messages and stuff. And so President Rouse was on the person to answer the phone when I called. And so I started off with the CBPM, and then from there, President Rouse introduced me to Marcus Garvey and the teachings of Marcus Garvey. And that was the self-reliance and the fact that it was race first, Black only organization is why I joined. Because like initially I didn't really know anything about Marcus Garvey besides what I was taught in school. Basically, he was the one that wanted to take Black people back to Africa. That's the only thing that was I learned that was taught to me then. And pretty much everything I've learned within these past 10 years with being a part of the organization. I think by 10 years should be here soon, maybe next year, 2014 or 2015, one of those, but I think it might be 2014 though. But anyway, that's it. I'm passing it.
Yes. Sister Tania, you've been with us for a long, long time, from way back in 2014 and thing. And we're so glad, almost 10 years now. Next year will be 10 years. You were the division in the CBPM. So we're so glad to have you, because this is Tania, y'all. Tania is definitely a leader for African people in this time. And she's been leading both organizations, the UNIA 421 and CBPM, from since she first started. So we're so glad to have you. And thank you for all the works you've been doing all these years, keeping up our organization and still with us too. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, all right. What, anybody have the agenda in front of them? Diane or Tania, tell us what is next on the agenda.
Okay, I'm about to go to, I clicked off of it. I'll go back and find it.
And wait, while Tania looking for that, want to welcome all of our new members who signed up this year or signed up to speak at Marcus Garvey Day. We had 20 members and we're still verifying each person's membership. We have another 15 applications we haven't verified fully. We've verified over 20 new members since last Saturday.
Okay, the UNIA, what is the UNIA-ACL brochure?
Okay. First Vice President, Brother Macis, do you want to expand on that? Oh, Brother Macis is not with us. Okay. Let's go to Attorney Imhotep. Can you expand?
I was trying to unmute. Well, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't see you. Go ahead, First Vice President.
What was the question for President Ross?
The next thing on the agenda for today, and everyone should realize that our president gave us this agenda and we got to carry it through because he's not in town. The next thing on the agenda, Mr. First Vice President, was the UNIA brochure. So I was just wondering if you can expand on it a little bit.
Yes. And I do. We do have a UNIA ACL brochure. It gives us the things that Marcus Garvey accomplished. I'm actually pulling it up right now. It talks about the many accomplishments of Garvey and all that he did throughout the years, and how many stores he had in New York. He had grocery stores, doll factories, the Coastal Black Star Lines. It breaks down all the different things that he did, so that when we share the propaganda, we have the ability to say what's already been done, with hopes to provide an outline of what's possible, what we can do. We want to make sure that we understand what we're capable of. And I believe that that's one of the most the greatest tools that's used against us, is for us to limit ourselves based off of the fact that we our history starts at just slavery. Oftentimes that makes us believe that, well, we didn't come from the kings and queens that we are, but Marcus Garvey knew different. He knew what was inside of us. He knew that we came directly from God, that we were children of God. So he always pushed forward to accomplish what he will, because he knew that without confidence, you're already defeated. First, believe you can't succeed. So the goals that he attained to achieve were always so huge, and he achieved them. There was no one else that was building institutions at a faster rate that he was doing. And the brochure breaks down that all the things that he did, his accomplishments, and hopefully it serves as an inspiration to yourself. And when you're talking to people, a good tool to use to recruit, and because the main goal is for us to be able to see what we can do, especially when we do it together. And that's the brochure. And I hope everyone gets a copy of it. President John has a lot of copies, and we definitely want to make sure, if you need some, to let us know so you can have some to be able to be able to speak to other people. Marcus Garvey knew that the number one tool to be able to unite Black people was propaganda. Being able to utilize the media, him being an apprentice, he was a printer's apprentice, so he really knew how to use the media and of his time, and we have to do the same thing. And this brochure is one of our tools for propaganda that we utilize to be able to recruit our members when we can and tell them about the works that has been done. And I'm looking forward to the works that we're all going to do together. Race First Family. President Ross.
Okay. The key notes and back in. Before I go on, okay, thank you. The person who have One Accord Media, your mic was on mute and we heard stuff in your background. Thank you for muting your mic. Okay, thank you so much, First Vice President, Brother Macis, for sharing more on our UNIA brochure. Sister Tania, what is next on the agenda?
Okay.
It's 5 requirements to establish a government.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Sister Diane. And before we go to the 5 requirements to establish a government, we're finally hearing from One Accord Media. He have his hand up, or she have her hand up. Go ahead, One Accord Media. Unmute yourself and go ahead, and if you want to say why you joined.
No, President Ross, that's me, Brother Macy's.
Oh, you want to, okay. Because I see you got your hand up.
No, I didn't mean
okay. Okay, I see. Okay, sound good. All right, the 5 requirements to become a government, and everyone in the UNIA have to know this, okay? And I guess I'll go ahead and expand on it. Our president was here, President John would expand on it. Or is there anyone who knows it would like to share it with the family? Anyone? Okay, well, I guess I will share it. So the first requirement in my government, and every government that is established doesn't need these 5 things.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
No, we're not hearing anything.
And I keep on.
A little
good enough now.
A little better, but still breaking up.
Okay, I'm gonna jump on
better now.
another member's phone.
Better.
Hold on.
Better.
Oh, good.
Better.
Okay, it's good. All right.
Better.
So, better. Sound good. All right. The first requirement to establish a government is a plebiscite. And a plebiscite, brothers and sisters, is a public declaration by brothers and sisters or people expressing the desire that they would like to be part of their own government. And in the 1900s, 1920s, when our government was formed, during those days, you had to have a minimum of 20,000 people declare publicly that they want to be part of their own government. And that's what happened on August 1st, 1920. And it was at Madison Square Garden. And you can look it up in the history, Madison Square Garden in New York City, where over 20,000 brothers and sisters gathered together and held a UNIA plebiscite expressing the desire to be wanting to be part of their own government. So that's the first requirement of a government is you have to have a public declaration known as a plebiscite. The second requirement to establish a government is you have to have a declaration. We're all familiar with the United States Declaration of Independence, but do you know the UNIA Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World? It's online. You can Google search it. The declaration that was done by our ancestors in 1920. I believe it has 54 declarations in it, or grievances or complaints of our people during that time. So we decided, because of these reasons inside the declarations, we need our own government. We're establishing our own government. So that's the second requirement, is you have to have a declaration. So definitely look up, Google search the Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World. That is the name of our declaration, which is the second requirement to have a government. So every government formed in the last 1,000 years, they have their own declaration, and so do we. The third requirement to establish a government is a flag. You have to have a flag. And that's what our red, black, and green flag was first introduced to the world on August 15th, 1920, as the flag of the Negro peoples of the world. So this is our flag, the red, black, and green flag is our government flag, and that's how it first came into existence. Now nowadays people call it the Pan-African flag, they call it the black flag, they call it many different names, but everybody should know what was the purpose when the flag first came into existence. And the purpose of the red, black, and green flag is the flag for all African people, the flag of our government for all Africans at home and abroad. So that is the third requirement to establish a government. So we got 1 is the plebiscite, 2 is the declaration, 3 is a flag, and the fourth requirement to establish a government in modern times is you have to have a constitution. And all active members today should have a copy of our UNIA Constitution. Our ancestors created it for us, and we have it today, and the Constitution has been updated several times. And I believe they have an updated Constitution now, was just made in this century. I think President John has access to it. But that's the fourth requirement of a government, is a constitution. So everybody should be familiar with the UNIA Constitution, and all active members should have a constitution in your possession. I don't know how it happened now, but when I was president, it was $3 for the UNIA Constitution. Okay. And the fifth requirement for our government is recognition from other governments. If other governments are not recognizing you, then you can't form the government. So our UNIA-ACL government was recognized by, during that time, Cuba, also Belize. And during that time, it wasn't called Belize, it was called a different name, which just slipped me. And several other countries recognize the UNIA as a government. So those are the 5 requirements. And some people would say a 6th requirement is land, that you have to have territorial borders. But we got to remember that our government, the UNIA, based upon our Constitution, is one of 2 world governments. So world government, you can't say that the whole world belongs to the UNIA, because there's other governments in the world. But there are world governments in the world that everybody should know. One world government is the Vatican. The Vatican is a world government. Even though they're based out of Italy, it's still a world government for their members, Catholics all over the world. And the other government that is a world government based on this Constitution is the UNIA. Our ancestors established a world government. So our jurisdiction for the government is any place where African people are. And that is our jurisdiction for our government. So everybody should realize there is 3 governments in the world that don't have a territorial border. One of them I mentioned already, the Vatican. They don't claim the whole country of Italy as their government territory, or they don't claim the whole world as their government territory. The second government in the world that exists today that doesn't have land is the Palestinian Liberation Organization. The PLO is known as a government for the Palestinian people, but they're still fighting for land that was taken from them back in World War II in the 1940s, 1948. And the third government in the world today that doesn't have territorial borders or land regions is the UNIA. So those are the 5 requirements of a government. Repeat them again. Number 1, a plebiscite. Number 2, declaration. Number 3, a flag. Number 4, the Constitution. Number 5, recognition from other governments. And some people will say 6, which is a territorial land. But there are 3 governments in the world today that does not have a territorial borderland. And we were supposed to have ours back in Liberia, but Firestone undermined us. And also, then after, Sir Isaiah Morter in Belize gave the UNIA 25 acres of land in Belize to establish the government, but it so happened that Sir Isaiah Morter passed away before the fulfillment of the land that was established for the UNIA, and also Marcus Garvey was deported from the United States around that time. So he wasn't able to go to the finish line. So those are the requirements of a. Is there any questions from anyone before we move forward?
President Ross, I'll add a little bit of context to that, if I may.
Of course, President John.
So yeah, thank you, President Ross, for that excellent breakdown of the 5 requirements that Marcus Garvey and our ancestors accomplished through the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League to establish a government. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this our first meeting coming out of Garvey Day was because if for those that were able to attend Garvey Day, this is one of the things that Dr. Umar Johnson highlighted during his speech in regards to the accomplishments of Garvey in being able to successfully create a government, a global government for all African people. So I wanted to make sure that new as well as current members understood the details of the actual accomplishments that were completed. And most of this, well, all of this had a full culmination during the first International Convention of Negro Peoples of the World held in August 1920 in Harlem, New York. And that was, the first convention of the UNIA. But yeah, I just wanted to ground individuals on, as I said, the accomplishments that Garvey made for us. As President Ross said, this is one of the highest accomplishments. If we're not seeking freedom, well, Garvey says the only security in this world is freedom. I mean, not freedom, is government. The establishment of government, the maintenance of government, and having that government respected by others and being able to defend that government. So as a
Okay, we're not hearing you, President John.
Breaking up.
said, opening has put us in position to protect ourselves throughout the world. And all we have to do at this point is understand what has been done and understand, as I've said, the responsibilities and accountability that come with maintaining this great government and organization. So I just hope that, those that are on the call, those that are interested in Garveyism, understand what has been done and where we are today and what we need to do moving forward. And I hope that everyone understands, what we've created and what we have to maintain. And I'll close out with that. Thank you, President Ross. Race first.
Yes, greetings, family. I'd like to maybe add on to what Brother John saying, and part of the reason for my absence in this organization, because I am involved with the Pan-African Federalist Movement. And I like to maybe pass upon everybody that's a part of this organization is to join the Pan-African Federalist Movement, because one of our goals is to create a constitution that will protect Africans no matter where they are in the diaspora. And we can certainly, as everybody should be well aware, that our problem is global, and the solution has to be global. And the things that we doing with the Pan-African Federal Movement is to, by the end of this decade, is to have a constitution in place that protect Africans no matter where they're at in the world. So I just want to expound on that as to not only being a part of this organization, but many other organizations like ASCAC, the Pan-African Federalist Movement. So I'm just trying to employ any and everybody that's would following the in trying to reach the goals of what the UNIA is presenting, is to get involved with organizations that's going to make that, well, we can bring it to fruition. So if anybody have any questions or anything, what I'll do is I'll put in the chat the website to the Pan-African Federalist Movement. You can join in there, and if people could find ways or means that they want to participate, they can join in, and hopefully with other people participating, we can bring all this to fruition. So.
Brother Kwaku, I did have a question in regards to the Pan-African Federalist Movement.
Sure.
There is a association with the Pan-African Federalist movements and the work that Marcus Garvey did in the past. Is that correct, or is that wrong?
Yes, that's we following it. You know, that's part of our mission as well, as to. I mean, we pretty much consider ourselves part of that movement as well. So,
one other question. Sure. Does the Pan-African Federalist Movement have they reviewed the UNIA-ACL Constitution?
I'm fairly sure that the people that's involved because that's pretty much give us our foundation as well. So with Mama Bantu and Baba Mustapha, who are the president of Pan-African Federalist Movement, they're fully aware of that. So I'm sure that they embrace that as well.
Sorry, I was on mute. Brother Kwaku, with that, that would imply that they are aware of the jurisdiction that the UNIA-ACL claims?
I don't want to assume anything, but I would probably want to check with them before they sit in, but I'm fully aware. I'm sure that they're fully aware of what is.
Understood. Well, we'll catch up. But yeah, that I would like to know a little bit more information on that. In regards to the UNIA Constitution, I think the jurisdiction is one of the first things that is discussed in the Constitution. It's either first or second, but we can follow up on that a little bit later.
Okay, yeah, and I'll put the website into the chat so people can visit the website, and then see if everything aligns with what we're trying to achieve here with this organization.
Yes, sir. Race first. I understand.
Race first.
Race first. And brothers and sisters, the Pan-African Federalist Movement is a great organization, and it's for us as African people. I definitely connected with the Pan-African Federalist Organization. I urge brothers and sisters to check it out too. Okay. Was there any other comments on what we just covered on the agenda? the firemen were out. And Sister Diana, you can what's on it.
So next is the officer reports.
President John, did you want to say anything about the officer reports?
Yes, give me 1 minute. I'll pull up the report that I provided to parent body for convention to represent Division 421. I need 2 minutes to pull that up, then I can share that with the family.
Okay, take your time, President. In the meantime, does anybody have anything they want to share while you have 2 minutes while our president pull up our officers' reports?
Yes, I'd want to share what's happening in West Africa. There, many of you may be following on the internet the recent July 26 coup in Niger, there in West Africa, through their democratically elected president, and it looks like he was elected earlier this year, but there was some question of whether it was a legitimate election. There were some question marks there as to how he became president, and he had the support of the French government and the United States government, and he was also, I learned, the heir of a minority group there in Niger, and I think his ethnic group was mainly out of Chad. Anyway, as it is in this particular region, it's called the Sahel region of West Africa, formerly French colonies. The people in Mali and Burkina Faso militarily overthrew the government and immediately kicked out the French. And the same thing you may have seen here. That's what happened in Niger. They're saying the president of the Presidential Guard, who was about to be sacked by the president, then decided to overthrow the president, and the other military divisions of the country decided not to go to war amongst themselves, and they agreed that this Presidential Guard general would become the president. And basically, in this particular coup, had the support of the people of Niger. The president was basically seen as a puppet of
the West.
Yeah, the West and the French government in particular, who basically, France has a bad history as a colonial power there in West Africa. Again, that's what
they still do.
Yeah, still do, and that's what happened in Mali. The military government kicked out the French troops and told the French ambassador to get out. Same thing in Burkina Faso. kicked out the French troops and told the French ambassador to get out, and the same thing is happening there in Niger. They just asked the French ambassador to leave. The French government has some 1,500 troops there in Niger, and they won't leave yet because they're saying they were invited by the democratically elected government, so they won't leave. So there's still what you can say where they're looting the natural resources of
uranium.
Niger, yes, mainly uranium that provided France with their electricity to light some 60% of the homes there in France, where less than 10% of the homes in Niger have electricity. So that's part of the Western colonialist government who I've now learned the ECOWAS, the West African group of some 15 nations who were upset with the Niger coup military junta for overturning the government, the democratically elected government, are controlled this basically by the French and the United States government here, and they're threatening to go to war to reinstate the Niger president. And it's unfortunate that the leader of the ECOWAS, the president, is the president of Nigeria, who was just elected in March of this year. And there's a big question of that election, that how he was elected. There's the question of whether it was fair or not. And also, we're doing some research here on the President Tinubu, I believe is his name, who is well known by the United States government. He was charged, well, he had to forfeit some funds here in this country back in the 90s, I believe. He's being accused of being a bag man for narcotics runners there in the city of Chicago. And I've just downloaded an article which will expound on exactly what those charges were, but it looks like the funds that he had bankrolled or gathered, funded it into a particular account, was seized by the United States government as being drug proceeds. So he wasn't arrested and charged, but the funds that he had deposited into this particular account was seized. So he has a long history known by the United States government, and maybe that's one reason why they didn't, his recent March 2023 election was not so much challenged by the United States government because he may be basically one of their boys. Puppets. Yeah, puppets. Thank you very much. In power. And they're saying that's one reason why he may be inclined to want to attack, reinstall the puppet there in Niger. I guess he can see some or have some brotherly love here. And again, they're all part of puppets to the Western governments, the United States, France. It looks like the EU is going to have they're going to start a patrol there in the Gulf of Guinea here coming up before the year's end as a front to protect the democratic governments from the Muslim jihadists who may be gain so much power that they're going to reach the coast of particular countries like Guinea. They're on the west coast, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Gambia, Senegal, Ghana, and it was disheartening to learn that the Ghanaian president also was going to sign on or encourage this ECOWAS troop buildup to invade Niger and return the quote democratically elected president to power. So and we have to remember that the African continent is very young. I think the median age is in the 30s. The people are tired of the Western exploitation and looting of their natural resources. They saw what happened to the people, the African people there in Tunisia who got kicked out, and they were in the no man's land between Tunisia and Libya. And these are Arab ruled countries now. The Tunisian president said one reason why he was glad to kick out the Africans, sub-Saharan Africans, is because they would change the demographics of the country. And they kicked them out, and they starving in the desert there between Libya and Tunisia, and or they're dying trying to get to Europe, and their boats are capsizing. People are dying. They're trying to get out where they got the resources there, the most abundant natural resources in the world right there in Africa, and the people are so poor. And the young brother African military leader who just was appointed there in Burkina Faso gave an inspiring speech recently, earlier this year, at the summit there in Russia, in Moscow. The Russians gave a African summit earlier this year, just like the Americans gave one here in December of 2022 last year. But the brother from Burkina Faso gave a very passionate speech talking about what the young people of Africa are asking. Questions are asking. You know, why are we in this state when we got all the natural resources of the world that the other people of the world want, and we're starving. And, that's why the
Consul General, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Consul General, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's a long 2 minutes. And you know, our president is out of the country, and he might not be able to give us the report that we was waiting on. I was wondering if you can continue what you're saying during members share, so we don't delay our president. He's waiting on us to share the
Surely, thank you.
Okay, that's a long, good 2 minutes because everybody should know what's happening with Africa. And thank you for that update, Council General. President John, I don't know if you're still with us. President John? Could be tied up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Thank you, President Ross. Let me get to this. Okay. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you, President Ross, and our officers. If you would, please allow me. It may take me about 10 minutes to get through this, but this is a written report that we provided to UNIA-ACL parent body. They are currently completing convention at this time. So as I said, back in 1920, we held the first International Convention of Negro Peoples of the World. I believe the convention that we're celebrating now or working through now is the 65th. President Roth, I don't know if you know, is the 65th or 66th International Convention. But at any rate, this is the report provided by UNIA-ACL Division 421. No, merci. Convention report, UNIA-ACL Division 421, Atlanta. Greetings, UNIA members in convention. Greetings, High Executive Council, and greetings, President General, Honorable Michael Duncan. This is Brother John Hargrove, President of Dr. Julius Nyeri, CBPM Division 421 in Atlanta, and Commissioner for District 5 of the UNIA-ACL. Here's my division and commissioner report for Convention 2023. Last time we were together was here in Atlanta for High Executive Council in April of this year. We had just finished seeing the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, where Marcus Garvey was incarcerated by the United States government for false charges of mail fraud. I'm here to report that the struggle continues here in the South. The Atlanta Division is fully aware of the reputation of our city in regard to the life and legacy of the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Marcus Garvey felt that he was being sent to Atlanta by the United States government to be killed and effectively to kill the government of the UNIA-ACL. One of Marcus Garvey's many profound speeches spoke of the greatness of the boxer Jack Johnson and how the Negro race can be like Jack Johnson all over the world, fast, strong, courageous, and determined to not only fight but to win. In Atlanta, we are aware that we hold a major responsibility to show the determination of Garveyites in the UNIA-ACL. If Atlanta is the place where the UNIA-ACL began its decline in 1927, then Atlanta must be one of the first places to regain its strength, to reclaim the honor and dignity of our great government in modern time. As the great Huey P. Newton once said, when the Black Panther Party was considering a relocation of their headquarters to Atlanta, he said, quote, "We have to return to the scene of the crime," end quote. And this is the mentality that we have maintained since the UNIA-ACL government was here in Atlanta for High Executive Council in April. Brother Amos Wilson wrote a text titled African-Centered Consciousness versus the New World Order, Garveyism in the Age of Globalism. The text opens with a quote from the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey answering a question regarding his shortcomings. Garvey says, quote, "My failure, you ask. Well, I tried to change the world without first changing the minds of men," end quote. In Garvey's own writings of the Message to the People, The Course of African Philosophy, Garvey identifies ignorance, both on the part of the Negroes and of other races, as one of, if not the greatest detriment to the progress of Africans globally. Education and training has been a major focus for Division 421 for several years, even before my tenure as president. Because while Garvey says that the greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization, we must internalize the connection between organization and its implications of responsibility and accountability. As we work to organize our brothers and sisters, we must also help them to understand the responsibility tied to self-determination and self-governance. As the Honorable Charles L. James states in the foreword of the Course of African Philosophy, he writes, quote, "He," and he's speaking of Garvey, "sincerely felt that no one should be held responsible for his actions until he or she is educated or trained to perform those responsibilities. And since the UNIA had become the largest responsible movement in racial history, its leadership should be thoroughly informed so that the proper information would be dispensed," end quote. Division 421 has fully taken the responsibility of informing our brothers and sisters here in the South of our responsibility to show the future generations what successful self-reliance, self-determination, and self-governance looks like. As we have inherited this legacy from Marcus Garvey and our ancestors that built the UNIA, we have a responsibility to build, maintain, and preserve this legacy so that future generations have a global government to inherit. Now, the question is, how does Division 421 build and maintain the legacy of Marcus Garvey and the UNIA in the South? And how have we done that since High Executive Council? Following HEC in April, Division 421 began preparing for upcoming events in the month of May. There were two major events here in Atlanta. One is the celebration of Malcolm X's birthday. For Malcolm X Day, Division 421 supported the Malcolm X grassroots movement by attending their 3-day celebration at West End Park. We spent time passing out the official UNIA-ACL brochure to our brothers and sisters and sharing the facts of Malcolm X's parents being supporters of Marcus Garvey and the UNIA. The second event in May was African Liberation Day. Division 421 hosted African Liberation Day at a local revolutionary church in collaboration with the World African Diaspora Union, the Association for the Study of Classical African Civilizations, Friends of the Congo, Haitian organization COSA. I believe the Pan-African Federalist Movement was a part of this as well. And of course, UNIA-ACL Division 421. Here we had the opportunity to highlight the importance of collaboration and working together with other Pan-African organizations, while also reminding the audience of the accomplishments of the UNIA-ACL in regards to establishing a global government for African descendants. I believe May was also the month that the UNIA orientation that was developed by the parent body began to be offered by President Oster Bryan of New York. Understanding the importance of training and education, the orientation was also a focus for Division 421 beginning in the month of May. For the month of June, the largest event that we celebrated in Atlanta was Juneteenth, hosted by Juneteenth Atlanta. For Juneteenth 2023, Atlanta Division 421 has the responsibility of leading the Juneteenth parade through downtown Atlanta while carrying the UNIA, also known as Red Black RBG flag. I cannot speak for the rest of the country, but since the U.S. government's federal recognition of Juneteenth in 2021, Juneteenth has begun to be co-opted by the LGBT society in an attempt to change the colors of the celebration from red, black, and green to a rainbow flag. Division 421 remains on the front lines in Atlanta to maintain the connection between Juneteenth and the UNIA's fight for global liberation of African peoples. During Juneteenth, we were able to pass out another several hundred UNIA brochures to remind people of the accomplishments of UNIA and also let them know that there is an active division within their jurisdiction. For the month of July, Division 421 held private celebrations to commemorate the founding of the UNIA-ACL as an organization in July of 1920. We held our regular mass meetings on the second and fourth Sundays, sharing the history of UNIA and Marcus Garvey. Which brings us to our current month, August, aka Black August, or the quote unquote, the month of Messiah. August has been a month full of planning and preparation. We were unfortunately unsuccessful in securing travel arrangements in a timely manner for a delegation to attend convention in Curacao. However, we are anxiously awaiting reports from Curacao and are already working on plans for travel to Philadelphia for High Executive Council, as well as securing funds to attend Convention 2024, wherever that may be. The majority of our time for the month of August has gone into Division 421 hosting our 14th annual Marcus Garvey Day celebration, which has always been a free event for our community. This has been the largest and most advertised Garvey Day in the history of our division. We are in our 4th year of collaboration with the Shrine of the Black Madonna to host Marcus Garvey Day here in Atlanta. We had a full day program filled with vendors, entertainers, and speakers to highlight the importance of unity among our people and to give reverence to the right excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey and the UNIA-ACL. Some of the program included a brief message from the mayor of the blackest city in the United States, Mayor Khalid Kamal of the city of South Fulton, hip hop entertainment from a local revolutionary group known as Venjas, and the event's keynote speaker was Dr. Umar Johnson, who spoke on the legacy of Marcus Garvey, UNIA-ACL, and how Marcus Garvey and our ancestors successfully created a global government for Black people. Dr. Umar ended his speech speaking on the importance of organization and having the discipline required for meeting consistently and not just once or twice throughout the year. Immediately following Dr. Umar's speech, Division 421 made a call for membership in the UNIA, and our membership table was inundated with brothers and sisters seeking membership and more information about Marcus Garvey in the UNIA. I am happy to report that Division 421 was successful in encouraging 21 Africans in our area to activate their membership, while also encouraging another 5 to 10 current members to reactivate their membership by paying their dues. Last night, which was Thursday, the 24th, Division 421 held an executive. Well, this is when I wrote this. At the time, I wrote it on a Friday, so the previous night was a Thursday. Division 421 held an executive meeting to review the results of our Garvey Day event and plan for our next steps. We're excited to reach out to our new members in preparation for our upcoming mass meeting this coming Sunday, which is today, actually. We are excited about the opportunity to begin to educate our members on the responsibilities of organization and the responsibilities of self-governance as it applies to the UNIA-ACL. Our upcoming meeting will focus on the 5 requirements to establish a government. Then we will lead into the upcoming study sessions to review the UNIA-ACL Constitution, hopefully, which will be led by our Counsel General, Attorney Imhotep Akibalan. We are also excited to announce that Division 421 will be providing UNIA officer training through the course of African philosophy for our 3rd consecutive year, starting in the end of September. This is a required training for Division 421 officers, and we have opened this up to officers in other divisions. In closing, we regret our physical absence in Curacao, but we are present through the spirit of Marcus Garvey. We look forward to our next discussion in September for President's Call. For now, we need to prepare for our upcoming mass meeting. I close with an excerpt from the course of African philosophy detailing the 11th aim of the UNIA-ACL, which is the 11th aim of the UNIA-ACL is to, quote, work for better conditions in all Negro communities. There should be a ceaseless effort among Negroes everywhere to improve their condition in every department of life and to make their community so prosperous as to compel the respect of their neighbor. No stone should be left unturned to advance from one stage of development and progress to another. There is always work to be done in this respect. One God, one aim, one destiny. Race First family. Brother John Hargrove, President, UNIA-ACL Division 421, Atlanta, and Commissioner for District 5. So that was our report. There was something in here that I had wanted to touch on. Since we have written this report, the election for the location of the next convention had taken place. And I think most of our officers that have been in discussion were already kind of aware of what the expectation was, but it is official at this point. There were 2 cities that were up for running for 2024 convention, which is an election convention. The 2 cities were New York and Baltimore. The vote was split 17 to 11, and the winning city is New York. So just a heads up for our officers. We've got a convention next year in New York that is an election convention. So we need to be focused on our resolutions for HEC, planning to travel to Philadelphia for HEC. And then we quickly have to focus on plans and travel for convention in New York, because as I said, this is an election convention. It takes place once every 4 years. So this is one of our most important times of the year. So that is our report. That is what the information that we provided to the convention. And that's kind of a response until a written report for convention comes out. The only information that I have right now is the location of the next convention. But as soon as details are shared, we'll go over that as an executive body and as a membership. So that is my report for the end of August. Race First. President Ross, back to you. Any questions or comments?
So my comment would be that we should strive for better conditions for Africans everywhere, and just to not not go too deeply with the Africa thing, but that there's just no reason why Africa is sitting on all this wealth, and Black people are living in the condition that they're living in, especially with the recent incident going on in Niger. I mean, we shouldn't have young people drowning in the Mediterranean Sea trying to seek a better position in Europe, when Europe is living fat, on our resources.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely right. One of the, well, we have a ranged focus, but according to Necessary People Course of African Philosophy, Marcus Garvey teaches us that international affairs are to be handled by the international organizer. Our focus, until we can get our city and our state organized and registered, that's our focus. And if it's something outside of that, especially something outside of the country, per the Constitution, per rules and regulations, we should be bringing these issues to our international organizer, having him or her address those, and then provide a report back to our membership. We have to understand this process. We have to work this process, because if we don't, then we don't know if the people that are sitting in these seats are actually doing their job. So, I just encourage us to follow the Constitution, and do our best to stay organized and responsible and accountable to the offices that we've accepted.
Yes, President John, I just sent you a text. If you could send me a copy of the report to the convention. I need it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will send that to you.
Thank you. Race first.
Race first. Any other questions, comments on President's report? Okay, that's
Yes.
all I have. Okay.
Yes, that was an excellent report, President John. And you spoke the truth, and the truth makes us as a division look good. So thank you for putting that together.
Yes, sir. Race first.
Race first. Okay, we're going to move on. And what's the next thing on the agenda, Sister Diane?
Member share, meeting close.
Okay. Member share. This is time for anybody that anything you didn't get to share, you can share it now during member share. And with member share, we usually start with our sisters first and then bring in the brothers afterwards. So let's go to our previous Lady Vice President, Sister Tania. Would you like to share? Okay, let's keep it moving. Tania, she should be back shortly. Let's go next to Sister Shantae in Virginia Beach. Shantae?
Yes, greetings, family. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of expand upon what the General Counsel spoke about in terms of what's happening, in Africa as well, and how we can participate. One of the things that a lot of the countries are preventing from now on is the exportation of raw natural resources. Instead, what they're doing is advocating for countries, if they want to, have access to uranium or other natural resources in Africa, they have to build refinement plants there and ensure that the local people have access to the resources as well. For example, the uranium that was being used, in France to power their nuclear power plants to provide power for their people. However, the people in African countries don't have that same power, that immunity. So I just wanted to think of ways that we can connect with what's happening there, because, I think it's important. And I don't know how we can achieve that as an organization, UNIA or Collective Black People Movement, to just, let them know that we are supportive of their effort and just trying to figure out a way that we can connect to what's happening there to ensure that that our African brothers and sisters are not being exploited, and also that these other countries are living up to the expectations of ensuring that the locals have the same amenities as European nations that are basically extracting the natural resources. So I will be attending the meetings, and I'll be renewing my membership. Race First.
Raise First, Sister Shantae, thank you so much. And we're going to keep it moving. Next, we have another sister coming to the mic. Oh, by the way, I think our Lady President is here. Lady President Ra Ebony, would you like to come in and share? We're on members share now.
Greetings. Thank you, President Ross. Greetings, membership. Greetings, family. Race First. So happy to see that everybody is attendance. Well, for my report that I would like to share, one, I am, as Lady President, I am also chairman of the Black Cross Nurses. What I'm doing is utilizing the Amanala Grill every Tuesday, from the time I can get the keys to the time I have to turn the keys back in. And we are conducting said projects for the youth that is in accordance to the Constitution. I am looking for volunteers. I will be sending out a mass email to the membership so that you all can be cognizant of what is happening and what all that's needed for people. I don't want to go into much detail about it because the email will have full details along with the flyer and along with the vendor registration. So it will have a registration for the children because it will be a lot of children programs that will be initiated from ages from the babies to the teenagers all the way up to 18 years old. But like I said, in that mass email, I will incorporate what all will be involved and the type of volunteers that I would need to be in place at the Amanala Grill. I hope that when you all receive the email, it excites you because I'm definitely excited to have this program going every Tuesday. So that's what I'm working on right now. What else? That's all I put on the table for now. And that's all I want to tell you all. So Race First, thank y'all.
Race First, Lady President, thank you so much for being our Lady President for 421. And also thank you for your assistance on Marcus Garvey Day throughout the whole program. We're going to keep it moving. Next, we're going to go to another sister who has joined us today, and we're so
President
glad.
Ross?
Yes.
Just one question. I wanted to ask our Lady President, doing an excellent job keeping us involved, keeping us engaged with the community, especially the youth. Let's see. Yeah, Lady President, did you have anything that you wanted to share with the membership in regards to the city of South Fulton and their council meeting?
Yeah. I can just tell you that the city of South Fulton is a very busy city. I do plan on going back to see where they can be in assistance to us. Like I was saying, when I went to the South Fulton Council meeting, they had like 41 events from here to the end of December. So, roundabout, that's about 5 or 6 events per council member. So they have a busy schedule. What else to share from that council meeting? That's about it. They're pretty much stretched out. I don't think that a lot of their events, things of that nature are carved in the stone, but as far as like them being organized and how they how they plan on dispersing, you know, the resources amongst each council member. I think that's what they were in, you know, they were in discussion about, because, you know, so much going on. They, I don't think they really had the time to sit down and, you know, see if their times clashed with one another. I think each district was just kind of planning for what their district wanted. So I kept that in mind, being organized and planning, being timely and planning, being more communicative, you know, communicating more when planning, because, you know, you might even be so excited to do something for your community, but you never know what, you know, if you're clashing with another colleague or what have you. So that's what I received from that. I actually didn't know that with that, you know, the type of sponsorships that they can support, that a city can support, because, you know, coming from my previous administration, you if anybody wanted to come and do any type of business in our city, you know, they had to, you know, pay for security or the EMTs, whatever have you. But, you know, these cities, you know, they show their sponsorship by supplying their public safety department. So that was different to learn. I'm very curious into seeing what type of resources can be allocated to the UNIA. Being the chairman of the Black Cross Nurses, I am looking into seeing about getting our membership CPR classes, seeing how, you know, we can go into affiliation with that. That's just something that I'm working on at the moment. But yeah, that's about it. That's my report from South Fulton City Council meeting. Race first.
Thank you, Lady President. And President Ross, I'm gonna hand it back to you in just a second. But yeah, I just wanted, we just started to attend, well, we're trying to attend city council meetings more regularly. This is a principle from Garveyism. He encouraged us to know the decision makers in our area, in our regions. And I think we have a very prime opportunity right now by working with and using City of South Fulton as an example for what we can do as a local government. As I said, this is the blackest city in America. This is a hidden jewel that we have. If other cities had this, I know that they would be taking advantage of opportunities to collaborate. So, you know, just moving forward, and I think the city was I know the city is very young. I don't know if they were incorporated in 2018, but I want to say they're no more than 10 years old. So it's an opportunity for us to collaborate, but also help to make sure the city is successful. This is as the mayor calls it, the Twin City of Atlanta. It holds the same amount of square area. It has the same area as Atlanta proper, but you know, it's just predominantly black. So it's a great opportunity for us to show an example and show the rest of the nation and the rest of the world that a majority populated black city and a black ran city can be extremely successful. So I encourage more of our members and more of our officers to participate in city council meetings. They happen every fourth Tuesday of the month at 4 p.m. at the South Fulton Arts Center. I think I'll confirm that, but at any rate, we just want to be engaged. That's all I have. Race first.
Race first. Thank you so much, President John and Lady President Ra Ebony. We got such great leaders of our division, our president and our lady president, keeping things moving and growing. So next on, sister, who has joined us today.
Breaking up.
Yes, let's hear from Sister Diane.
Just want to say it was great sharing with all the brothers and sisters on the call today, and that we must keep striving for better conditions for Black people everywhere, economically and otherwise. Race first.
Race first. And we're going to keep it moving. Thank you, Sister D. Next, sister, we're bringing, okay, Sister Ayana. Greetings, Sister Ayana. Sister Ayana. I think you're on mute if you're speaking. Okay, well, we'll come back to Sister Ayana. We're going to keep it moving.
President Ross?
Yes.
Just briefly, please excuse me for continue to interrupt. I just wanted to thank Sister Ayana. I don't know if she's on or she can hear me. She did a great job of co-hosting Garvey Day. We really didn't know, we had a MC that was lined up to host. They backed out at the very last minute. And Sister Ayana did an excellent job on behalf of the Shrine of the Black Madonna of hosting the event and keeping the entertainment flowing. So just wanted to acknowledge her for that.
Big up Sister Ayana. Okay, that's who she is. Okay, yeah,
Race
Thank you
first.
so much, Sister Ayana. Race first. Did you want to share, Sister Ayana? Right. Is our USA African regions
Breaking up.
Attorney General.
Looks like Ross Marvin dropped off. Council General Attorney Imhotep, I believe he was calling you in for membership.
Okay, yes. Briefly here, today in African history, August 27th, 1963, in Accra, Ghana, Dr. W.B. Du Bois made his transition. And it was one day before the March on Washington, which was held here in this country on August the 28th. And I remember this day, particularly the announcement being made that he had passed. I didn't know much about him, Du Bois, at the time. I was very young myself, but I remember them making the announcement. And then I later learned how much of a nemesis that he became to Garvey. And I really had some bad thoughts about Du Bois. I've come to understand that I guess it's all in the struggle here that we have different opinions. He also came to learn in 1945, he attended the Pan-African Congress in Westchester, England, with Amy Ashford Garvey. And at that conference, it's my understanding that he came to, by his actions, it became known that he finally would admit that Garvey was right and that he was wrong. So that's what happened on this day, August 27, 1963. That's it. Race first.
Great.
Race first. Thank you, Council General. Does that complete your membership?
Yes, I think President Ross.
I was on mute.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. I was on
Okay.
mute. Thank you very much, Council General. And next we have Brother Art coming to the mic. Brother Art.
Great first, family. This meeting has been very educational. I don't have anything to share at this time, but I really appreciate this meeting. Thank you.
And thank you. Raise first, Brother Art. And next we have coming to the mic. I think that's everybody. So I'm going to pass the phone to our president, see if he has any messages for us. President John?
What about Baba James for the dreadlocks?
Oh, I'd called you, but I don't think you heard me. So go ahead, Baba James.
Raise first, family. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Great.
We got a lot of new members on the call. And to those new members, and I say anybody who hasn't been there for at least 3 years, new members, take the opportunity to learn some things when it comes to the membership department. We have a lot of members in our division, and we need new energy when it comes to getting in contact with them. So if you're new to the division and you want to make sure that we're all using our resources, take an opportunity to join the membership department and get to know our membership so we can have more people on the call. Raise first.
Raise first, raise first. Well, President John, look like we heard from everybody, so I'm going to pass the mic on to you if you have any closing words.
Thank you, President Ross. The only thing I've got in closing is, as what I've said repeatedly before, but it's going to be a heightened focus with this current administration. Responsibility and accountability. We're all adults. We all know that we're trying to make progress as an organization. And with that being said, you know, an organization is you know, hold on, I got my things. 1 second. An organization is a representation, or when I think of organization, one of the words that comes to my mind is organism. So an organism is something that has parts that come together that help the whole to succeed, survive, and be successful. We have a brain, stomach, you know, lungs, arms, legs, whatever it may be. There are parts to the organ, there are organs to the organism that make it successful. So what I want our administration and our organization to be thinking about is, you know, as we're recruiting, as we're bringing in new members and we're activating membership, we should be trying to tap into these individuals' mentality. Who has the leadership bug? You know, who has a mindset that is not just about themselves or their family, but they're also concerned about their community, their nation, and their race. And those individuals, you know, we have to help them get engaged. We have to help them to understand what is needed from a office standpoint, from an organization standpoint. Make sure, as I said, make sure they are trained and have a good understanding of their responsibilities before we try to hold them accountable. But, you know, we are in 2023. The UNIA itself started in 1914. The government was created in 1920. Division 421 has been around since 2009. We've got to be serious and put a level of immediacy on stepping up to have a strong and successful government organization and specifically executive body. So I just wanted to close with that. You know, I hope this is something that we all think about, you know, for those that come into these meetings and things like this and know that they have within themselves something more than just being an ordinary member. I'm making that call now for those individuals to step up and help us to complete the vision that Marcus Garvey laid out to the world over 100 years ago. With that, that's all I've got. President Ross, raise first.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move to close. It's been a powerful meeting. We thank everyone for coming on tonight, and be safe. Our next meeting will be the second Sunday in September, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Same Zoom call, same Zoom line. Hope to see everybody. Bring somebody with you when you come in. And I'm going to pass it to Baba James for him to go ahead and close us out. Baba James.
All right, family. Put your fist in the air and repeat after me. One God.
One
One
God,
God,
One aim.
one aim,
aim,
One destiny.
one
one
destiny.
destiny.
Africa
Africa,
Africa
for the Africans.
For the
for the
Africans,
Africans,
Africans.
Those at home
those
Those
at
at
home,
home
and those abroad.
and those
and
and
those
abroad.
those
abroad.
abroad.
Race first.
Race first.
Race first.
Race first.
For the Africans.
Those at home and those abroad.
The fight getting through is a challenge, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
I think
If
you
you
could
can
lift
come-
up the board first.
If you can come here, this here, I want you to feed it behind here. You need to get to here.
Right.
That's
You
the
gotta
goal.
lift up the board.
I'm gonna go over here and lift up the board. I want you
Okay.
to feed it.
All right. You lead the meeting?
I don't know.
Come back this way. Yeah, you gotta come up. But you gotta move that.
No. If we can move this, then we're gonna have to work and get this one. So
Lift it up this way.
I lift it up.
This way.
Look,
Like it-
look. Sit here, watch.
So the only way to do it is to get that out. Put it back in.
Push it out, push it out.
No, oh, no, I took it out in time.
So
Okay, so now,